Hello everyone. Today we shall be reading the chapter A Letter to God written by G.I. Fuentes, who happens to be a Mexican short story writer. First of all, let us have a look at the characters of the story. The first one is Lencho the farmer, who also happens to be the protagonist of the story. The protagonist is a character around him which the entire plot of the story revolves. Next come his wife and children. I am writing children over here because the number of children he has not been specified in the story. Next come the postmaster and the post office employees. The post office employees are mostly passive characters who happen to be of no importance except serving as background artists, except one postman who hands over the letter to the postmaster. The story starts with a description of Lencho's house, which is the only house in the entire valley. Lencho happens to be a farmer, as I have already told you, who has sown corn in his fields, and the crop is already promising a very good harvest. It only has one requirement, and the requirement was a shower of rain. A shower of rain was still needed for the crop to give a good yield. Lencho was sitting in his fields and he was looking towards the northeast direction. He was waiting for the rain. The rain could have changed his fortune, and Lencho forecasted that definitely it will rain today. And his wife said, "It will happen if the God is willing to do so." The second paragraph sheds light on Lencho's family a bit. Lencho's wife was preparing dinner at the moment, and the elder boys were working in the fields while the younger ones were playing. Do remember, everyone, that I have already told you that the number of children that Lencho had has not been specified in the chapter. So finally, everyone was called for dinner. And as soon as everyone was called for dinner, it started to rain. Lencho was excited. He went out of his house to feel the raindrops on his body. And he thought that the raindrops were equal to money coins for him. Now, why does Lencho compare the raindrops to money coins? Because the rain was going to make his produce more profitable. Due to this rain, he was going to earn more money, and hence he compared the raindrops to coins. This is a very important question from this chapter that always appears in 2 marks questions or 8 marks questions at times. So do remember why Lencho compares the raindrops to money coins. The third part of the story can be termed as the white cover, which has been mentioned in the third to the fifth paragraph. In the last part, we saw that it had started to rain and Lencho became very happy. But his happiness actually was short lived. After an hour, hailstorm came. The raindrops had converted into haildrops, and the hailstorm came, and the earth was completely covered with droplets of ice. And as you can imagine, the small droplets of ice had ruined the crops as well. Lencho was worried and he prayed. He thought that the hailstorm needed to pass away very, very soon. But the hailstorm continued almost for 1 hour, and the entire valley was filled with ice, as if draped in a white blanket of salt. When the hailstorm stopped and Lencho saw the destruction, he compared the destruction to that caused by a plague of locusts. Here we come to another important question from this chapter: the destruction that is compared to the destruction caused by a plague of locusts. Actually, locusts are a type of insects which feed upon the fruits and the flowers of any crop. And locusts never come alone, locusts come in swarms. But when locusts come, there is a possibility that they will leave a couple of flowers or fruits or a percentage for the farmer as well. When the locusts will have their stomach full, they will go away. But this hailstorm had completely wiped off any possibility of getting any amount of produce. All efforts made by Lencho, all the money put by him, all his hopes were now under that white blanket. Hence, Lencho compares the destruction caused by the hailstorm to that of the destruction caused by the plague of locusts. Their hopes of having a crop that year was no more. The next part of this story can be termed as the aftermath, which is mentioned in the 6th to the 8th paragraphs of the story. Now, after the hailstorm, Lencho and his family knew that they will have to starve until the next crop. They had nothing to eat, they had to live only on hope. The condition was so bad. Just imagine, the condition was so bad that Lencho was consoling his family by telling them that no one dies of hunger. So everyone knew that they will have to stay hungry until the next crop, and Lencho here is consoling his family that no one dies of hunger. What a pitiful situation is this! It specifies, it tells, it depicts Lencho's state of poverty, that he had no amount of food in his reserves. He was hoping upon the crop, and now all his hopes, all his dreams were shattered just because of one day of rough weather, just because of one hailstorm. And this is what the author has tried to show, that in his area, the reason from where the author comes, the condition of the farmers is so bad that they don't keep any reserve crop. In order to feed their family, they depend upon what is growing in their fields. And when there is nothing in their fields, there is nothing in their lives as well. But Lencho here was a man. Of course, he is the hero of a story. How could he stay silent? So Lencho here decides. Although he was a farmer all his life long, but he knew how to write a letter, how to read and write. And Lencho decides to write a letter to God. Wow, to God. Where would he post it? Did he know the address of God? But still, these all are questions which could be coming into your mind. But Lencho here, our protagonist, decided to write a letter to God and to mention his problems in it. What were his problems? His crops were destroyed. He had no money to sow for the next crop. He had no money to feed his family until the next crop, and no one can work on a hungry stomach. So that were his problems, and he decided to write those problems in a letter. Where? To God. So now our protagonist Lencho decides to write a letter to God, which has been mentioned in the paragraphs 9 to 11. Now, what does he write in that letter? He mentions all his problems, that he has no money, his crop has been destroyed by the hailstorm, and he has nothing to feed his family. He will have to starve until the next crop. And then he says God to help him. And how does he want the help? So he demands 100 pesos. Now, pesos is the local currency of that place, and he demanded 100 pesos from God to sow his crop and feed his family. Some amount he needed for his next crop, and some amount to feed his family until he got the next crop. So he wrote that letter, put it into an envelope, and he just put it into that letterbox. Now, the letter was collected by a clerk, a postman. As I have told you in the characters, there is only one postman who is not a passive character. So that postman collects the letter and reads it and laughs a lot. Then he shows it to the postmaster. The postmaster saw the letter. He also had a good laugh, but then he realized that this man, whoever was the author of the letter, as we know, Lencho's faith in God must not be broken, because only someone who trusts God can write such a thing. Rest of the people will embrace whatever they have got, terming it as their fate. But here, along with fate, Lencho had faith in God. So he decided to challenge his fate by his faith. Remember, challenging fate by faith. Now the postmaster saw the letter and he decided that the man's faith in God must not be broken. So what does the postmaster do? Now 100 pesos, my dear students, is a very big amount. You see, the postmaster decided to collect money from the post office employees and help Lencho, because he alone was unable to raise 100 pesos. So he decided to collect money from all the post office employees, and almost everybody helped. But when everybody helped, still the postmaster was able to collect only 70 pesos. Lencho had demanded 100 pesos and the postmaster was able to collect only 70 pesos. And now these 70 pesos were collected. Finally, they were put in an envelope and the envelope was signed as God. It was sent to Lencho. No, it was kept for Lencho. Because, why was it kept for Lencho? Because the postmaster wanted to see the look of satisfaction on Lencho's face when he would receive the money. Hence, it wasn't sent, but it was kept for Lencho, and if Lencho would not have appeared to the post office the very next day, then the envelope would have been posted, right? This happens to be the last part of the story, which can be termed as the irony. This irony is being mentioned in the paragraph number 12 to 15. So now, when Lencho received his letter, actually Lencho came to the post office and asked confidently if there was a letter for him. The clerk handed over the envelope to him. So when Lencho received the letter, the postmaster was feeling proud of his act of kindness. He was thinking as if he has done a very marvelous, very wonderful task. And he thought that Lencho would be overjoyed upon seeing the money, because there was no hope of getting anything, and we all know something is better than nothing. So 70 pesos are definitely better than zero, but Lencho wanted 100. So as soon as he got the envelope, he was happy. He definitely was happy. But as soon as he counted the money, Lencho became angry. Why did Lencho become angry? Because, do you think? Can you think for a reason why did Lencho become angry? Okay, let's read the story forward to understand. So he became angry, and what he did after that, he asked for paper and ink. Fine. He asked for paper and ink and started replying to God. Now the postmaster thought that Lencho might be writing a thank you letter, but the angry look on his face was a bit of trouble for everyone. Why was Lencho angry? So then Lencho asked for paper and ink and he started replying to God. As soon as Lencho went away, Postmaster took the envelope, and after he read the envelope, he actually was shocked. Why was he shocked? Lencho must have written a thank you letter. So, what is the cause of being shocked in a thank you letter? So, what Lencho had written in that letter, Lencho had asked God to send the remaining amount. And next was the cause of shock. He also requested not to send money via mail. Lencho asked God not to send the money via post because Lencho thought that the post office employees were crooks. What Lencho actually thought that God had sent him 100 pesos, but 30 pesos were taken by the post office employees. So that is why I have renamed this last part of the story that comes in paragraph number 12 to 15 as the irony. Irony is a situation when you expect something to happen and what actually happens is completely opposite to your expectations. So that is called as irony. This is the irony in the story that the postmaster thought that Lencho will be overjoyed with the 70 pesos. Lencho will be thanking God and in a way literally thanking the postmaster or whosoever helped him. But here was Lencho who had faith on God that God will definitely send him 100 pesos and he received only 70. And Lencho thinks his faith was not disturbed. What Lencho thought that God had sent him 100, 30 were kept by the post office employees because it was sent through mail, not through a proper money order. So next, God tells, sorry, Lencho tells God to send the remaining money and that through money order, not through mail. So that is the whole stories, guys. And now it is time for the homework. So in the next slide, there are a few questions and I would request all of you to write the answers to these questions to have complete preparation of this chapter.